Hello, trading is closed on June 16th, 2017. Normally the weekend's a time when I spend a lot of time with my charts before I make my call. I'm busy all weekend, won't have time to do it, so I'll make this kind of short and sweet. We had a few calls yesterday. I said the commonest pattern was one with an early high, a middle of the day high, and a late high, each one higher than the other, and the early intervening low holding. That's the commonest pattern, and that's what happened. As far as Monday's pattern, I think it'll look pretty much the way Thursday's did, with an early low, a middle of the day rally attempt, and I think more of a drop than we saw here. I suspect that the daily pattern might not mean too much because we could have a strong trending day. When I made the call, futures are up here. I said that I thought that was strong resistance. I wasn't confident we would trade over it in regular trading hours. During the overnight session we traded here, but as soon as the market opened we never did, so that held. I said I expected a gap either over this high or under this low, and if not, we should close little changed. Well, there was no gap, and we closed little changed. However, we did move sharply lower right from the open without the gap. That's usually just about equivalent to a gap and calls for lower prices, which already printed. During the day, MEJT gave some sells. Here are the targets, and they both printed. Let's not forget that a sell in MEJT doesn't mean you enter an order to sell. It just means there's a target at a lower price and that there's support under the target. There was support under it. The system said the move was false and prices would retrace, which they did, to this line and optionally to this one. In the afternoon, right at the low, it gave a buy, and that worked. I have mixed signals, so unless we close, it'll change, which is unlikely since we did that today. I look for a gap outside of the day's range. Let's look at the pros and cons of the gap being up and the gap being down. The pro for the gap being up is that almost always a trend on a Friday continues through till Monday. So the vast majority of time will continue higher. The catch is if you gap down instead, it's a sign of real trouble. What's negative about the chart? Well, this is 2 days straight that we started low, rallied all day, and couldn't break through the important level. What's even worse, we easily traded through the level on the overnight session. We stayed here all night yesterday. As soon as the pros left the market, we had a wall, a buying into the close with no pullbacks, a close at the exact high of the day, a Hobson close indicating unrestrained buying by the amateurs, and a 4-point rally after the close. The implication is the amateurs are willing to pay these prices and the pros aren't. The Hobson close and the wall into the close very often are followed by a gap down. Here's the Fibonacci resistance we had. The origin of the left stilt of the diamond on stilts was support and now resistance. We've been unable to break through it in regular trading hours. And even though I haven't counted all the waves, if you assume this is a third wave of some kind, and that's the fourth, and usually when wave 3 likes this, it looks like this, wave 5 truncates. If in fact wave 5 ended here, and that's your A, and that's your B, and that's your C, right at the 61.8%, we have a perfect setup for gapping down sharply at the open under this low. Undercutting this low would mean that this whole rally attempt was a false move, and it shouldn't take too much more follow-through to break this low and this low as well and give us a major league tank on Monday. If we gap up instead, the call's killed before the open, but we're going to enter resistance at this top here. I think if that happens and it's reversed quickly, which is very likely, the same thing could happen. But in either event, unless we gap up and hold it throughout the first hour, which I'm not expecting, Monday is all it takes for a major league tank, and that's today's call.